Dave, despite those crunch talks then between Boris Johnson and Ursula von der Leyen, still no deal.
Yeah, I mean, ahead of this call between Prime Minister Johnson and President von der Leyen, we knew it was very unlikely that they could find some kind of big picture diplomatic fix to this and that a deal would be announced tonight. The key thing that we were waiting to hear from President von der Leyen tonight is whether they would throw in the towel as a result of not being able to bridge these differences. They didn't. Von der Leyen saying in her statement today that these differences are, quote, significant, but they are going to continue talks. So the negotiators will continue talking tomorrow. Von der Leyen and Johnson will speak again on Monday, but it's looking very, very bad. I mean, this does look like a last roll of the dice, if you will, rather than just trying to iron out some last-minute changes here. The three big sticking points are governance, level playing field, and fisheries. Governance and level playing field, that's the idea that the UK wants guarantees that the EU wants guarantees that the UK will not deregulate and try to undercut the EU with unfair competition once it's in a free trade deal. The UK side says it will not agree to any kind of oversight of its own independent lawmaking because that would defeat the purpose of Brexit. And then separately, the fisheries issue is whether or not EU fishing vessels can continue to fish in UK waters. Those have been the three big issues for months now, really. And it just is looking like they may just be too far apart to be able to bridge this divide at the last minute.
Well, as you say, both sides have been for some time digging their heels in, Dave. So many deadlines have been missed in this Brexit saga. I mean, what is the real deadline at this stage?
I mean, it's hard to call anything a deadline because so many deadlines have been blown through, as you say. But I would really say that the European Council that's taking place this week on December 10th, on Thursday, that's really the last possibility because essentially Michel Barnier, the EU's chief negotiator, is operating on a mandate that has been given to him by the 27 EU governments. And he has really reached the limit of what he can offer under that mandate. So in order for any compromise to be made that would be acceptable for the UK, he'd have to go beyond that mandate. And that would have to be agreed by the 27 prime ministers and presidents of the EU countries. That would be a very complicated discussion that would have to take place in person. The last opportunity to do that this year, before the Brexit deadline day, is this week on Thursday. So I would really say they have 4 days left to be able to reach this agreement. Otherwise, there just isn't enough time for the deal to be ratified both by the governments and by the European Parliament, which in any event now would have to have an extraordinary session at some point between Christmas and New Year's in order to get this ratified in time. That, of course, is assuming that this is just a very simple trade deal that deals with EU-only issues. If it is the more complex deal that the UK always wanted, it would also need approval by all 27 national parliaments in the EU. That is impossible to agree by the end of this year. So at this point, what we're looking at, the only thing possible at this point is a very simple FTA, not what the UK was envisioning. And even that would be hard to get approved by the end of the year, even though it only needs approval by the governments and by the European Parliament. It's really just, I think, 4 days, and then that's it. Then they have to really kick in emergency preparations for a no-deal scenario by the end of the month.
Well, Dave, as you say, the clock